What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick.
I'm Jeff Grunstifer.
And welcome to episode number 58 of Vinyl Bang. Today we are going to do another viewer's choice. This is a little mixed bowl. We have one, two, three, four different people choosing topics for this episode, and we will obviously announce who does what. But
Yeah, kind of back to our regularly scheduled show after last week's flashback episode, and back to normal, kind of. So
yeah, no, I I thought this would be a fun idea because, like, I was kicking it with our pal Cha earlier today, and he was just giving me how he comes up with some of these ideas, and I was like, yeah, man, how come me and Jeff can't be this creative? But we'll get to that later on in this episode. 7 topics chose. Like I said, 4 different people have chosen topics. Some of them might not even know it until they watch this episode that they were on this. So, but again, we will get there when we get there. Jeff, do you have anything to add?
no, well, besides, I almost want to make the reference about Animal's drum kit because it's like it's all thrown together by different pieces, and that's what we're doing today is Animal's drum kit by everybody contributing their little.
That's I'm gonna put that in the notes right now. Animals drum kit. That's gonna be the title of this episode.
Animal's drum kit, yeah. throw together to make it work.
That's how we do here on Vinyl Bang. Jeff, do you want to start?
Yeah, we'll start with our first topic. Was given to us by James James, right?
James
Yeah,
Watson, right?
James Watson of See You Next Tuesday, and his new project that I have recently listened to, Ma'am, or no, Purse Candy. Purse Candy is the name of the project, and the album is called Ma'am. It's just every song is a different thing. I guess you would find, or every different kind of candy you would find in an old woman's purse, like a Werther's and strawberry, and I don't even remember what the other ones were. But anyway, yeah, this topic was chosen by James Watson. This is the most expensive record you own according to Discogs. So, given that all of the extensive research, looking up on the Discogs app to see which album I own is the most expensive. I've talked about this album several times, this particular copy, several times in several different episodes, but it is always a pleasure to show off one of my only framed albums that I own. One of the albums that is worthy of being put in a frame, and this could actually probably be in a better frame, but we'll do that later on. For my album, my most expensive album, according to Discogs, is the second press of the 1989 album Nirvana Bleach. The first pressing was a white pressing, and the second pressing was what you see here is the black standard pressing, again, released in 1989. This album does not get enough attention, even after all these years. Everybody always talks about Nevermind and In Utero, and great albums. They are. I have nothing against. I mean, Nirvana itself is just an entity in itself, a phenomenal band, a groundbreaking band, an iconic band. As shown by my enthusiasm, my huge picture of Kurt Cobain in the background. Huge fan of Nirvana, but Bleach, dude, it is so fucking good. Like School and Love Buzz and it just everything on this album is just so good and does not get the attention it deserves even to this day. I just love Bleach, absolutely love it. I will not go into the price range for the what Discogs says that this thing is worth, but it is pricey. what it's been sold for and what it will go for, and even like the lowest amount. Like there's 3 different categories on Discogs for those of you that don't have um, this app or even know what I'm talking about. Discogs is like an app where you can keep track of every album you own, and it tells you the different price ranges for like the low price range, which is like the not best condition of the album, and then there's medium, which is like average. Like if you've opened the record and played it once, that would be like a medium condition. Then the high is like mint, sealed, unplayed, blah blah blah. But
Tell it. What is it?
it's expensive. It's 1,100. The highest price range. The highest price
Good.
range for that album is $1,100 in sealed mint condition, which mine is not in, but I could still get a pretty penny for it. And do not tell Melanie. Please, for the love of God, do not tell Melanie how much that album is worth. Ever.
Better hope she doesn't watch this show, Jeff.
She doesn't at all.
One of her nurse buddies at work are going to tell her. Do you know what Jeff said on the show the other day? Cool stuff. Yeah, like you said, it doesn't get enough love. Like Kurt said, this is off our first album. Most people don't own it. That is a very underrated album. There are some really cool songs. Love Buzz is an incredible fucking song. Floyd the Barber. There are some bangers on that record. I think Nirvana certainly had like a tap into the underground with that one. And then when Nevermind came out, I think they lost a lot of their OG fans, but they gained a lot more after that. And
Mm-hmm.
but cool record. I have nothing but love for Bleach. It's a great album. I'm glad you own a really rare pressing of that one.
Me too. Me too. Got lucky finding that one.
Yeah, man.
Very lucky.
Alrighty. Well, mine isn't so expensive, but the most expensive one, as far as how expensive it's sold for, is it's a collection. It's a box set of 7-inch 45s of the first Wu-Tang album, the 36 Chambers. Comes in this neat little package. I'm going to show you everything real quick. So it comes in this book, and I think I talked about this on a past episode. Put this down real quick. It's got like a bunch of like story about the album and everything, but then when you get into this one section, there's a bunch of 45s in each page, just one song on each side, so it's start to finish the entire album. Um, like I said, it comes in this cool book, great pictures,
Mm-hmm.
bunch of stuff from like music videos from the songs, and then it also comes in this cool case. I'm gonna slide it back in there like that. It also comes with this original 7-inch of Protect Your Neck. Protect Your Neck, the bloody version, and Tears. Same deal, 45. This company that put this out, Get On Down, they're notorious for doing like these 7-inch boxes. They've done a Tribe Called Quest one recently. They also did Biggie's Ready to Die. I'm sorry, it's a struggle to get these back in the fucking sleeve.
Yeah, and that doesn't help being on camera either. That never makes it any easier.
And then here's something cool. Behind this comes with 2 45 adapters shaped like the Wu-Tang logo.
Yeah, those are so cool, man. Those are fucking very clever that they did that.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if the other ones came with anything neat like that, but like I said, they slide into the back of the cover, and then this 7-inch kind of just slides back in like that. But it's a neat book. It's selling for $562 on Discogs, or it's sold for $562 on Discogs. Yeah, I saw it one day. I was like, "Fuck yeah!" This was like for the longest time the only version of 36 Chambers that I owned. I recently bought Get On Down, did the 30th anniversary, and it was like really nice splatter that I shared on the episode recently. So this, as far as most expensive records in my collection that is sold, this one, that was the most expensive sold. There, you go right there for now.
And rightfully so. So it's
Yeah,
awesome.
great
Awesome.
album. I didn't talk about it all, but it came out in 1994. That repress was 2017. Damn. Let me just go real quick. Bring the Ruckus. I'm not going to say the name of that second track. Clan in the Front. Wu-Tang Seven Chamber. Kid Albee System. I'll just name the good ones. The hits. The Mystery of the Chess Box is probably my favorite track on this whole record. Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With. Cream. Method Man, which is a funny ass song. Or the intro is funny. Protect Your Neck. Tears. This is a cool album. Really cool hip hop album. I remember it came out when I was in the 7th grade, and it just took me by surprise. At that point in my life, I was listening to primarily metal, but like there was at least like 3 hip hop albums in the last couple of years that just really grabbed my attention. So things were changing in a young teenager metal Nick's life. That time, I was probably like grunge Nick. I don't know. Listening to a lot of corny bands, but yeah, that's that.
Oh yeah.
Next topic is I'm going to read these titles that we got here. And this is from our good friend, Mr. Alex Shaw of Pig Destroyer. Shout out Shaw. Hey, You in the Back. Favorite album where the drummer is the lead singer.
Good topic. Good topic. This provides an opportunity that I don't get very often, or I haven't talked about this band at all, aside from like having the new album category, the new album discussion. Don't really get to talk a lot about Jarhead Fertilizer, but I'm glad that I get to today. I am going to show off the newest album from Jarhead Fertilizer that came out in December of 2023, Carceral Warfare. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Carceral, Carceral Warfare. As the topic suggests, Dave Bland, also of Full of Hell, is the lead vocalist for this project. He writes all this stuff. Like it's almost like I want to say it's like a 9 Inch Nails thing, where Dave writes everything and then just brings in other musicians to play it. Is that right? I don't know or not, but
I know like Sam and so like the original bassist of Full of Hell plays bass in this band, and Sam, who plays bass in Full of Hell, now plays guitar in this band.
mm-hmm.
And then I don't know the other guitarist. I don't know his name.
Right. But I don't know if everything's written by Dave and then given to them to play live or what. But either way, Jarhead Fertilizer is the vocalist for Jarhead Fertilizer is Dave Bland, awesome guy, phenomenal drummer. Fucking watching this guy drum, and I've done it multiple times, both with Jarhead and with Full of Hell. It's just, man, he's a beast. Fucking beast behind the kit. Great guy, awesome guy. Do our show, Dave. But yeah, 2023 is Carceral Warfare from Jarhead Fertilizer. Awesome project. If you haven't heard it, definitely worth checking out. And I'm glad I got to talk about this band, even though I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about for a minute. And dude, the cover for this thing is awesome. Like how it's got the artwork. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. I have something to show like that later on in the episode, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, really, really awesome job on the artwork and the layout and everything. Awesome band.
Definitely. Shout out to Dave Bland in Ocean City, Maryland. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right. My pick for band with the drummer. My favorite band with a drummer. With the drummer who sings. I'm going to go with a pretty obvious pick for me. This is Seattle, Washington's own Iron Lung. This is a White Glove Test. This is a fucking incredible record. This is just a 2-man band. Jensen Ward is the drummer and singer, and John, I can't remember John's last name. He plays guitar and he does vocals every now and then too. The artwork on this record is just fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is awesome.
I love this cover so much. I, for many years, had it as like background on my phone. Um, this is a red pressing. There's like a pressing out there that has like two pressings. It's the album and like a noise record, and you're supposed to like put them both on the two different turntables at the same time and play them, and the noise record's supposed to go with this. So yeah, if you have a giant setup and you want to fucking do that, look for that. But this band is amazing. They just the other day put up pre-orders for new albums, which I was mega late on, so I didn't get the colored pressing or the test press. I had to test order the standard black, but it's fine. Any type of pressing I can own by this band. I really enjoy this band a lot. These Jensen has been extremely nice to me over the years. Every time I've ever talked to him I always try to take the opportunity to talk to him whenever Iron Lung plays live. Usually at Maryland Death Fest. I saw him once in Philadelphia, and they fucking destroyed. Um, but yeah, this is my choice. If you haven't heard of this band, they are like a power violence, hardcore. I don't know what you want to describe it as, but it's fucking incredible. That's how I describe it. Go see Iron Lung if you haven't. If you see that they're playing, it's a rare thing. Their merch is great. They really take care of their fans. They're good people, really good fucking people, and just an awesome live experience. I've always said that. Like, if you ever get the opportunity, don't miss this band because they will blow off any other band off the stage. They will. They're just that good live.
Mm-hmm.
For two guys, they are that fucking good live. So yeah,
That's awesome. Fuck yeah. I can't
I'm
remember right
excited.
offhand if I've ever seen them. I know you're a big fan, but I can't remember if I've ever seen them or
They played this
really given them
past
a
year.
chance.
I know you should.
I know.
They're a phenomenal band, and just I wish they toured a lot. Usually when they play these festivals like Death Fest, they'll do like a string of shows or whatnot. But yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Where are we at here? Ooh. Ready for
Ooh.
this one? Pre-Bang. Your favorite record that you pre-ordered. How long was the wait? And were there any extra perks?
The how long did I wait for this one is a little sketchy, but I do have pretty good stories around it. So my pick for favorite pre-order is an album that was released on May 8th of 2012, and I know the date because it's my daughter's birthday. Uh, so when it came in the mail, I was like debating on making a big excited posts about new Cattle Decapitation album or Sierra's birthday. Which one do I pick precedence over? May 8th of 2012, Cattle Decapitation's Monolith of Inhumanity was unleashed into the world. Phenomenal album. Phenomenal album. It is the first album in what's um, becoming like an ongoing story. With this, and then Anthropocene, and then Death Atlas, and then Terracite. It's like a de-evolution, I guess, of humanity and where it's gone and what's happening to us as humans. Anyway, uh, so my stories surrounding this album in particular. On May 4th or 5th, a couple of days before the album had come out, Cattle Decapitation was on the I can't remember the name of the tour. It had like Origin and Decrepit Birth and Rings of Saturn and um, the Occupation Domination Tour. Occupation Domination Tour. Cattle Decapitation played in St. Louis at a now out of a venue that's been shut down, Fubar in St. Louis, Missouri. The tour came through St. Louis, and so the pre-orders hadn't gone up for Monolith yet. The vinyl had not been revealed what the vinyl was going to look like. I hadn't heard any songs from it yet because they hadn't released anything yet, and I would not let Josh Elmore. Josh Elmore tried to show me what the vinyl looked like, and I did not want to see it. Whenever they played Life Stalker and Dead Set on Suicide at the show, and I went outside. while they played these songs because I didn't want to hear them. But yeah, this is the first album that featured my name in the liner notes. The first Cattle Decapitation album that had my name in print in the liner notes, which I'm not even going to try to attempt because it's like somewhere down here in all this little tiny ass type font. I pre-ordered the big mega bundle that they usually do for every album. This one especially. This is like the first big deal that they made where they released they sold like a hoodie and a shirt and um, um, trim for your car and just all kinds of shit. But part of the pre-order package for this was that they had this recycling or trash receptacle, cattle decapitation trash receptacle, which is fitting for the human beings throwing the world away as trash. And they had the original artist for the Garbage Pail Kids do these cards, an actual set of cattle decapitation, every band member as a different member or as a different Garbage Pail Kid. And I still have 2 sealed sets of these Garbage Pail Kid cattle decapitation things. So yeah, that was strenuous. I did not give this a whole lot of thought. But Monolith of Inhumanity, released on May 8th of 2012, was absolutely my favorite pre-order. Whenever it came in the mail that day, I had the CD and the vinyl. And also, this vinyl, I picked this out just so I could show off the original, the OG pressing, very first pressing from 2012. And this is hard to find. Like, if you did not pre-order this, you cannot find a copy for very cheap anymore. But this is an actual 2012 OG pressing of Monolith of Inhumanity. Never been on the turntable. Will never be on the turntable. And will most likely one of these days be used to pay for my funeral. A lot of this is getting cut out.
I remember seeing them on 420 of that year, and I listened to a lot of Cypress Hill with some friends of mine from Decrepit Birth and Travis. I remember buying that poster, that Garbage Pail Kids poster, and getting them all to sign it. And while Travis was signing his, he picked his nose and wiped it on mine, being a little clown that he is. But at that show, they played a lot. They played Forced Gender. They played like the first 5 songs. They opened the set, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" And then I got home that night, and the album leaked on the internet. And then I guess like a few days or a week or so later, yeah, it was out. But yeah, I have that copy. I pre-ordered that vinyl. I have that somewhere in my collection back here. Good album, good stuff. I think that album really, people were certainly taking notice when the Forced Gender music video came out.
Mm-hmm.
And like the singer's weird guy. But yeah,
he's all talk.
All right, my pick for this pre-order shebang is in 2013. Yeah, it says right here, October 22nd, 2012. I apologize. Pig to Shore put out Book Burner, and this was the first one that our buddy Adam Jarvis was on drums for. Look, if you could see, same spiel with your as your Jarhead Fertilizer album cover here. It's got this nice little shiny glaze here, Book Burner, signed by everybody. This was a double disc, a lot of cool artwork in here, done by Rohan of Extortion. But this one came with like the punk EP, and it was limited to 100 on red, and on the other side is this etching that I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, we were trying to figure that out the other day. We were talking about that, like, what the hell is that supposed to be?
Yeah. But a bunch of shit just fell out over here. So, couple things. I don't know where the T-shirt is. I remember there was a black shirt, like black on black, I think, ink on it. There's a book burner bookmark that has like this. I'm not gonna actually cover this up, but I'm sure it's also expired. All this. I don't remember what we got. What did
That
you
was
redeem?
the blind, deaf, and bleeding EP. Or no,
The
that was
why?
the ultimate dynamic range.
Yes. Okay, that's what it says right there. There's that. There's this book called The Atheist that was by J.R. Oh, that's the cover of it. It's like a 19-page story by J.R. And then there's this uh, Godless Swine card that ensured you free merch for life.
Hmm.
That we're making a joke about. Our buddy Blake was saying those that have expired. But
Yeah,
we
the first time I ever met Blake, that's what he told me. I was like, dude, I got this card for free merch. He said, yeah, that's expired. I was like, fuck.
that's a very Blake answer. No, as far as how long I waited for this album, I don't remember. I think most Relapse albums are like 3 to 4 months usually. Like it's rare that like something tragic happens where like there's a pushback on Relapse. I very rarely get emails from Relapse saying that there's a delay on my pre-order. I don't
Mhm.
know if that ever happens to you often, but like I said, the longest I think I've waited, it might have been like 4 months for anything from Relapse. But yeah. Oh, and then also it came with these Zippos.
I was getting ready to say, I was going to go track down my Zippo. Yeah, but they had a
There's
silver
this
one and a
one,
black one.
and then yeah, a couple months later or a couple years later, our pal Blake he's like, here, I have this black on black one for you. So
Hmm. Yeah, he gave me one
boom,
of those as well.
I've got those, and yeah, that's the. There was also a T-shirt, but I don't know where that is. It's in a pile of shirts in my room somewhere. But
Yeah, that
yeah,
was the one with the coffin on the
oh,
left
oh,
breast.
maybe
Can't
I don't know. I don't know. All right, next topic. Next topic. Give them a damn trophy. Favorite band that should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame but is not.
The okay, so the requirements for being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is the debut album has to be at least 25 years old, right? So I was trying to look that up to see exactly what the actual requirements were. But yeah, it has to the band has to be a um, certain amount or a certain age, and their debut album has to be a certain number of years old. I want to say it's 25. I want to say that's right. Regardless, a band that has never been inducted, uh, Primus, fucking Primus, should absolutely be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This band is just so unique, so inspiring, so diverse. If anybody deserves it, especially now, Primus absolutely should be. This album in particular, Tales from the Punch Bowl, was released in 1995, and it was after Pork Soda, after Sailing the Seas of Cheese. This album absolutely deserves to be the album that would make them be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just because, my God, this album, this band is just iconic, and whether people want to admit it or not, they are very inspirational. Um, Everybody knows Primus. They're just such a great group of guys, and they should absolutely be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't think they've been nominated or anything. So yeah, that's my pick. And plus, I just like showing off this cover. I don't know if I've ever shown off the OG original 1995 pressing of Tales from the Punch Bowl, but here it is, ladies and gentlemen, an OG 1995 press with lay menu on the back. This fucking album is so good, dude. So good. Miss Blayling was Wynona's Big Brown Beaver, Southbound Pachyderm, Deanne's a Jig, On the Tweak Again, Over the Electric Grapevine. Dude, so good. Yeah, Primus should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Make it happen, whoever chooses this shit.
It's I believe it's 25 years after their first like number one or first hit single or whatever, because they when Nirvana was like a first ballad, and people were just like, why aren't they in here yet? And because they kind of like changed the game pretty quickly, and it took a while, but
Sure.
all right. As far as they get a lot of slack because of the genre that they came out of, but every person that I've ever talked to about this genre, they mentioned this band because they know that they probably have the best guitarist out of any band in this genre. I'm talking about the band Rat. I actually have two of their albums that I wanted to show off. There is uh, Out of the Cellar, which came out in 1984, and Invasion of Your Privacy, which came out in 1985. Um, both of these albums are just have legendary songs. This one's got "You're in Love," "Lay It Down." Um, let's see what else is on this one. "Got Me in the Line." This one's got "Wanted Man," "You're in Trouble," "Round and Round." I think "Round and Round" is probably their biggest hit. Look, Tawny Kitaen is on this cover. As our good friend Blake Harrison said, Rat had their hands on her before David Cloverdale got his greasy hands on her. This is a great band. Warren DeMartini might be one of the most underrated guitarists in the hair metal genre. Uh, I bought both these records a couple years ago. I was in Philadelphia, and I was driving home, and I stopped to the city and hung out with our boy Loopy, and we went to a random record store, and I found both of these for dirt cheap. But Rat is a really cool band, a very underrated band. I think Stephen Pearcy is still doing it, but he's not doing the best. He's not in the best shape. I don't think most people from this era are in the great shape. Robin Crosby passed away, and I think the early 2000s of AIDS. But yeah, most of these guys, Bobby Bolter, a lot of these guys are still alive. They just don't. They're not in the band anymore. I don't think anybody really gets along with Stephen Pearcy, but there were some great hits. They're still played on the radio and at sporting events all the time and in TV commercials. I think Geico had Round and Round a couple years ago in a commercial. But Rat is a great band, whether you like hair metal or not. If you were to check this band out, I think anybody would agree that great musicians, and yeah, they should definitely be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They wrote some really good songs. It's been almost 40 years since their hits, all of their hits have charted. So yeah, I think they should be in there.
Agreed. I'm as I've stated before. The last time you mentioned Rat, like I'm not a huge fan, but yeah, their contribution to music and their notoriety is absolutely something that would uh, speak for itself.
I
For sure.
always tell people check out the song "You're in Love." The guitar solo in that song is just, I mean, everything Warren DeMartini does is really catchy. It'll get stuck in your head. He's a great songwriter, a really good guitarist, but like his solos are, I don't know how to phrase it well. I think Between the Buried and Me does it a couple times. Where like I hear these solos that just like they touch my heart, and I'm like, man, like that note right there really did it, And like
Mhm.
Warren DeMartini really knows how to do that with his solos for me. Like there are times where I'm just like, I feel it emotionally. It's just, music does that to us. It's supposed to move you emotionally. And there's like I said on those records, there's some great guitar solos that just, hands down, probably some of the best in the genre. I know a lot of people love Motley Crue and Poison, but like Rad is really overlooked. They really are. If you're bored one day, their music videos are very old and corny, but like their songs are fucking awesome. You don't have to watch the videos; just check
Well,
out.
the music videos for the time. I mean, fucking everything from the '80s. Not everything, but a lot of shit from
There's
the '80s was corny.
a lot of their music videos had like instead of like clips of them chasing around like women at the time, they would be chasing around like, or they'd be like old clips from like movies from like the 50s and the 60s and shit like that. A lot of like silent era stuff. So it's like in the You're in Love music video, it's a lot of like old music, like cartoon and movie clips. And I'm like, damn, how old are these guys? But
Mm.
that, it's just the time, like I don't know. Lay It Down. I love that song. That riff in the beginning of that song is great, but like again, great guitar solo. Like that guy really wrote some good stuff. And if you're listening to this and you're like, man, maybe I should check out Rat, you really should. Check out those songs. Lay It Down, You're in Love. Everybody should know Round and Round. Wanted Man's a good one. Way Cool Junior is pretty cool. But yeah, just make the call yourself. All right, moving on. Talking too much about Rat. Vinyl Bang Down Under. Uh, this is your favorite band from Australia. This is another one. The last one, and as well as this one, was chose by our good friend Mr. Alex Cha. Shout out to Cha.
Yeah, good job, John. Saving us once again. Australian bands. Without even really giving it any thought, my personal one of my favorite personal bands from Australia, King fucking Parrot. King Parrot. I love this band so much. Um, this album in particular is their latest release, Ugly Produce, which came out in 2017. Which, man, you're probably thinking, man, that was 8 years ago. They should probably do something. Well, they are. Pre-orders for the new King Parrot album, A Young Person's Guide to King Parrot. Pre-orders for that went up the other day. I have secured my copy. Um, Excited for new King Parrot. Dude, this fucking band is so good live. So good. They're just the energy that Matt Young gives out. Everybody in the band, they are so good. Absolutely one of my favorite live bands. I will travel to see this band, and I did last year or year before. I don't remember when it was. I drove to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to see them play in a what I always consider to be like a country club, like a country club bar. Is where they played. They don't tour the states very often, as they are from Australia. But fuck, dude, I've seen these guys probably a handful of times throughout the years, and become really good friends with Todd Hansen, Crikey, their drummer. Matt Young and I are really good friends. The other guys, like we know each other, but we're not, that close or whatever. But this band, dude, I mean, they are so good. This album consists of tracks like Piss Wreck, Disgrace Yourself, All Hail the Grub, 10 Pounds of Shit in a 5-pound bag, Numbskull, Die Before You Die. Just such a fun band. Absolutely my favorite band from down under Australia, King Parrot. Fucking long live King Parrot. I'm so excited for the new album. There's first single from the album, Fuck You, and the horse you rode in on rips. Absolutely is just fucking awesome. So good. Stoked for new King Parrot this year. It's definitely going to be in my in the episode where we wrap up 2025, because I have no doubt it's going to be killer, thrashy, grindy, just fun album. I cannot wait for new King Parrot. So
He's picking this album and he hasn't even heard it yet.
don't have to. It's King Parrot, dude. I
Conspiracy.
can't wait for it.
There's a conspiracy happening here, folks. Yeah, I've only seen them once. It was with Pantera, and they played a very large stage. So I guess I'm trying to assume that they were grindcore, so it didn't really like translate well in this giant amphitheater. But I know a lot of people like that band a lot, and talk a big storm about how cool they are. So shout out to King
Mm.
Parrot, Jeff's Australian pick.
Yeah, that tour with Pantera, I'm sure that got them a lot of new fans. I mean, I'm very happy for them. And the tour that I saw them on was like 2 days after they got off that stadium tour. So they went from playing stadiums to playing like I said, a country club bar. You know,
Mm-hmm.
very more of their scene, more of their atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Word. Well, I man, there's quite a few bands I could have picked for this. I could have gone with Portal, Extortion. Agents of Aberrance. There's quite a few bands I really wanted to pick, but I completely forgot I had this. This is the only album I have in their collection. They put out one out a couple years ago. They got way more notoriety. This is an Australian band. This came out in 2017. This album. This is an Australian band called Dr.Colossus. Um, the album is called The Dank. If your eyes are not deceiving you, this is Moe's Tavern from The Simpsons. There's a
Oh, with Lard Boy and all that.
leading Gums Murphy there. You can see the three-eyed fish in the sewer there.
Nice.
Yeah, Lard Boy's in there. This band, it's kind of like stoner rock doomish, and everything is Simpsons themed. When they perform live, they dress like the Stone Cutters. If you watch The Simpsons, you know what I'm talking about.
Uh
Um, so song titles: Thrill Ho, like Thrill House. He couldn't put his entire name in the video game, so it's just Thrill Ho.
huh.
Future Bart. It's still good, as in the episode where the pig went flying in the air and Homer kept saying, "It's still good. It's still good."
Uh huh.
Dr. Colossus, which I believe was the monster truck that fucking destroyed their car, or maybe it was a wrestler. I can't remember.
What was it?
Dr. Colossus, which is the name of the band, but that was like I can't remember if that was a wrestler when they were watching it. Anyways, next track, excellent. Like what Mr. Burns always says, Holy Driver, Lemonade, which I'm believing is from that Itchy and Scratchy thing, and then Dr. Tongue, which is what Jimbo called himself when he was making out with the babysitter that Bart had a crush on.
Mm-hmm.
The album that they put out after this was called "I'm a Big Stupid Face." I'm a big stupid idiot with a big stupid face and a big stupid butt, from that thing where Bart prank called him, and the artwork looks exactly like Eric Roper's Sleep Dope Smoker with what's the bus driver Otto with his face on it. It's a really cool looking artwork. The album, I didn't think it was as good as this one. This one makes me crack up a lot. It's a bit of a parody-ish stuff, but Metal Chris from DC Heavy Metal interviewed the singer of this band once, and he was very entertaining interview. Actually, he had a pretty good outlook on the Simpsons, hoping they don't get sued by the creators, because there is a band from I think Russia that's like Star Wars themed. They got a cease and desist from Lucas Art. So yeah, I mean it's pretty cool shit. I like it. It's not the greatest band in the world, but it's funny to me because I'm a big Simpsons fan, and they focus mostly on like the first 10 seasons, not anything like after that. So yeah, it's not my favorite album from Australia. Certainly not my favorite band from Australia. But I figured I would talk about this because I forgot I had this in my collection, and they are from Australia. Dr. Colossus. This is my pick for Vinyl Bang Down Under.
I never knew anything about this band. Never knew it existed. Never heard you talk
Oh.
about Dr. Colossus. I am currently, last month I started watching The Simpsons from the beginning again, and I'm
Mhm.
currently up to episode 20, episode 7 or 8. I don't remember what episode it is, but yeah, dude, that's fucking rad. Dr. Colossus. I'm going to listen to this. I am so excited to listen to this. I put it on my Spotify playlist. Just
Uh-huh.
the artwork alone, like the Simpsons stuff is awesome.
Check it out. It's funny as shit. Like if you know The Simpsons, if you know what you're listening to when he starts, like these lyrics are just like oh, I know what this is. It'll really make you laugh. Like it's a good laugh. It's I think an ex girlfriend told me about this band, but I do have a friend out in Australia. Shout out to Kim. I don't know if she watches this show, but I think she told me she saw them live once, and she is a big Simpsons fan too. So like it's pretty cool that she gets to experience that. They
Nice.
sound like something that would tour with like Max Sabbath, if you have any idea who that is.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them a couple years ago. They were great. Um,
Right.
yeah. All right, we got two more to go. This next one was chosen by yours truly. I told Jeff we should each choose at least one. So yeah, this one comes from courtesy of Mr. Metal Nick. Shout out to that guy. A genre people would not expect you to have in your collection.
For the record, Metal Nick's okay. Shout out Metal Nick. He's all right. This took a little thought because I thought about talking about Lady Gaga, but I've always talked about Lady Gaga, and it should be known now that I'm a big Lady Gaga fan. Same with Taylor Swift. It's known I'm a Taylor Swift fan. Anybody that knows me personally, I know I've talked about her on the show before. So it was like, what the fuck am I going to talk about for a genre or an album in my collection that doesn't belong there? One of these things are not like the other type shit. Like, what album am I going to do? A couple years back, I believe it was during the pandemic. My wife and I went to a flea market, or I'm sorry, an antique mall, um, while looking for an urn for our dog Buddy that had passed away. We were trying to find a good resting place for Buddy. We went to this antique mall, and while we were there, I started looking through records, and I found an album from the '80s that I owned courtesy of Columbia House when I was trying to figure out who I was going to be, what kind of music I was going to listen to growing up. And I found a copy of Genesis Invisible Touch. I can tolerate pop to an extent. I like, as I said, Lady Gaga. I've got a couple of Halsey albums. There's some pop that's really good, but '80s pop, like this is something that it's kind of a sore thumb in my collection. So this one really stood out to me. I don't know if this is their most popular album, but whenever I brought this up, whenever I told Nick what my album was going to be for this topic, as soon as I showed it to him, he said, "Well, I've got the single or something for Invisible Touch, which is the first track on this album." This album has Invisible Touch, Tonight, 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 Land of Confusion, In Too Deep, Anything She Does, Throwing It All Away, and The Brazilian. So it seems like everybody liked side one of this album, and nobody really side two of Invisible Touch didn't really make the airwaves. But the first side is like it should be on a Genesis best of, because I mean everybody knows those songs, or everybody from this genre or from that timeline anyway. Um, but yeah, Genesis Invisible Touch, and I'm not ashamed to say that I own this. This is a good album. Again, it's from my childhood. And it's got the cover, the hand, got a little feel to it. It's got a little texture. Kind of cool.
To
Phil
correct
Collins,
you,
ladies and gentlemen.
I have the Land of Confusion 12-inch single, not whatever the first song is called.
Invisible Touch.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. No, Genesis is great. They were like a prog rock band when Peter Frampton was their singer. Not Peter Frampton.
Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel. Yeah, they were like a very proggy band. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
really neat. I had like a greatest hits years ago, and it was just good stuff. All right. Uh, so out of all the stuff in Metal Nick's collection, I have a reggae album by HR. Most of you would know HR because he's the lead singer of the hardcore band Bad Brains. But in 1990, he wanted to change things up and put out a solo album. And it was a reggae album. And I'll be very honest with you, it's not a very good album. First couple songs are all right, then it just gets just kind of bad. Like they ran out of ideas, and somebody put it out. Uh, I was one of the suckers that bought it, but there's a couple songs on here I like. Shaman Dem Game. I like that one a lot. And While You Were Sleeping, that's a cool song. Uh, it just like I said, it goes up on a high note, and then after While You Were Sleeping, I feel like it kind of just goes down. Not that great. This is an OG pressing. It's on clear yellow vinyl. SST put this album out in 1990. It's actually the only reggae album I own. I've always been looking for another particular reggae album. I did see a record today in the store by this artist, but not the one I was looking for. But as far as genres you wouldn't expect to see in my collection, I own one reggae album, and it is by the lead singer of Bad Brains, HR. They have a couple reggae songs, Bad Brains, like I and I Survive. It's probably the most popular one. I know there's a few more. They did like a dub album, but Yeah, I bought this because I was curious what it would sound like, and like I said, it wasn't that great. It's an okay album, but
Yeah,
uh, it's a reggae album and a pool of metal records, and a shelf full of metal records, and a couple of hip hop, and some pop albums here and there.
that's Taylor Swift.
I don't know Taylor Swift. I have the most pop thing I have is an artist named Tove Lo. If you've ever heard of her,
Oh yeah, I've heard you talk about her.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
I'll share her some other time after we finish this episode that we were doing great timing with right now. All right, last subject chosen by this guy. He's all right, I guess. I mean, took him forever to come up with this idea for us, but my co-host, Mr. Jeff Grindstoffer here, came up with soundtrack.
Which is actually a blatant ripoff from James Watson's episode, if we really want to get fucking technical about it. I couldn't think of anything. It was so I just woke up from a nap and Nick called me and he said, let's do an episode. And I said, okay, let's do an episode. It's fun. So we threw this episode together
We'll be
last
hearing from
minute.
James Lawyer soon.
Huh?
We'll be hearing from James Lawyer soon.
We will be here. I don't care. I'll just do the John Doe thing in the fucking credits again. Come on. What? You got nothing, James Watson's lawyer. Fuck you and the horse you rode in. So this topic, I've wanted to talk about, like, as I've said, we did this topic in the James Watson episode, and I have so many of these. Like, I was like, we should do, something else with this. So I just want to talk about some more of my soundtracks. So that's what this topic is, a soundtrack. For those of you paying attention at home, soundtrack. This one that I decided to go with is from my absolute favorite horror movie of all time. Ever since I was a child, I've loved this movie. To this day, I love this movie. Every Halloween, I watch this movie. The greatest zombie movie ever made, as far as I'm fucking concerned. Return of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, this particular pressing was released in 2017. This was bought from a record store in Kansas City that I don't know if it's still there anymore. I don't know if this record store is still a thing. This one is kind of hard to see in person. The color scheme of it, and I know it's going to be hard to see, like in a trying to get it to translate through the camera. But this is a black and brown reissue. This is the Tar Man pressing, which is the iconic. Of course, I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know who Tar Man is. One of the most iconic zombies ever. Puppeteered by Mr. Alan Troutman, who I met last year. Awesome guy. But yeah, this is the Tar Man. You can kind of see it right there, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's not like a glare. That's the actual black, brown, and a little bit of white here and there blended in. But yeah, this is the Tar Man pressing of the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack. I'm not real familiar with a lot of these songs, but the "Do You Want to Party" is the song that everybody knows from the album, and I had to have that song on vinyl. And plus, I mean, besides the fact that, again, reiterating the fact that greatest horror movie ever made, my absolute favorite horror movie, Return of the Living Dead. So I just wanted to show off the soundtrack. You're welcome. No need to thank me in the fan realm over the soundtrack.
I love that scene in the movie where the girl's talking about how she wants to get killed, and that's how she gets killed. That's exactly how she gets killed. A couple years ago, Adam Jarvis and his girlfriend Annabelle went dressed like those two for Halloween, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious. So
Yeah, Trash and I can't remember the guy's name.
it's a great movie.
Yeah,
I like that. Pretty funny movie.
it is.
Yeah, good pick.
You
All
watch your
right.
tongue, boy, if you like this job. Like this job. Yeah, awesome movie.
Cool.
Next topic. Sorry.
All right, my turn. Last one. This is probably my favorite movie of all time. This movie came out in 1990. This was the first time that this soundtrack was pressed on vinyl in the what does it say? In the 21st century. It was the first time it was pressed on vinyl in the 21st century. And of course, talk about the movie Goodfellas. I think I've watched this movie more times than any other film in my life. And there's a reason why I'm sharing this, and I'll talk about it in a little while. But this is a blue pressing. I just saw this randomly one day on my feed, and I was like, you know, it's my favorite movie. Why not own this? Who's on this soundtrack, you ask? Tony Bennett, the Moonglows, the Cadillacs, Billy Ward and his Dominoes, the Chantels, the Harptones, the Shangri-Las, Aretha Franklin, Bobby Darin, Cream, Muddy Waters, and Derek and the Dominoes. So that song Layla, which is I guess Eric Clapton played guitar on this song when he was in Derek and the Dominoes, but that's on here. Sunshine of Your Love by Cream. It's a pretty cool movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. Um, it's a very like old school. It's a Martin Scorsese film, so it's very like old schoolish. I don't know how to say it, like not doo wop, but oldies. But that's basically what this soundtrack consists of. I'll explain why I chose this in a little while, but this is like one of my favorite movies. I'm very happy to have the soundtrack of it on vinyl because I'm just weird like that. But that is it. That is our viewer's choice. All 7 of our topics. Mr. Grindstoffer chose the last one, and there you have it. Yeah, pat yourself on the back, pal. While we're at it, Jeff, did you get any new records?
I have two new albums, a new album and a not new album. The new album comes from, I guess James and I are going to be dating by the time the end of this episode's over. See You Next Tuesday's collaborative split. This is a weird
It's not a
way
split.
that
I think
this came to be. Like the drummer for Meth wrote drum tracks, and then they sent them to the guys from See You Next Tuesday, and then the guitarist, the bassist from See You Next Tuesday wrote music over that. It was weird how this came to be. Awesome idea, awesome fucking idea. But yeah, this is a collaborative album from See You Next Tuesday and a band called Meth. I got the I can't tell, like the sticker says Ghostly. It says Ghostly on the thing, but like on Discogs, this exact same pressing is like listed as something else. So I don't know what's going on with these pressings. But I got the Ghostly pressing, which I believe there was 200 of. Awesome, awesome. Yellow inside transparent purple. Awesome pressing, awesome album. James Watson and I are now dating because I've talked about him so much. Surprise. Surprise, James. And I would like a Valentine's Day gift. New album, not new album. I picked up yesterday from our good friends Hit Records in Columbia, which I have to show these stickers. They have these free stickers on the counter whenever you check out. I had to get one of these just because look at that thing. That fucking thing is so sick. It says Hit Rex, HITTREXX. Fucking love Hit Records in Columbia, Missouri. I stopped in to just check out their wares, see what they had yesterday whenever I went to Columbia to get a haircut. And I got a copy of Nazum Inhale Exhale, which I know will make our good friend Shaw very happy because he's a big Nazum fan. I think
he is
a big fan, huge fan of Nazum. So finally, I have this in my collection. It's just a standard black, but for $24, $25 plus tax, I couldn't pass it up. So more of the grind street cred for Jeff Grindstoffer. And that's it. That's all I got. That's it. Just the 2 albums and Hit Record stickers.
cool. All righty. So I got quite a few. I have Today I went record store shopping with Shaw and JR from Pig Destroyer. Went to a couple stores. First store I went to, I found Eat 'Em and Smile by David Lee Roth. I just saw that they're putting out all of his albums in a box. I already own Skyscraper, and yeah, I found this one. This one's got Yankee Rose and Elephant Run, Big Trouble, I'm Easy, quite a few ones. Going Crazy, Ladies Night in Buffalo. Tons of good hits on this. I don't know if you're a David Lee Roth fan or even a Van Halen fan, but you know, I think Steve Vai was on this one, and yeah, he had quite a lineup. Next album I got, I bought a copy of probably Megadeth's most famous album, Rust in Peace. Didn't own this one, now I do.
Nice.
Pretty fucking just the guitar solos on that album. I already listened to it twice today when I got it. Something else I grabbed that I just don't own singly. I own it in a box set, but I don't own it on a regular vinyl. Is Pantera's final album, Reinventing the Steel. This is a white and Southern Flames yellow marbled vinyl, as you can see there, through it in that sleeve. A lot of people say this album was bad. I love this album. I didn't think Pantera made a bad album in my eyes. Jeff, you're gonna like this next one. The last store we went to while looking through a bunch of stuff, I found a copy of Houdini, but this is music on vinyl pressing, and so I now finally own a color pressing of this album.
Is it yellow?
I wish. It's like red marbled or something like that. It looks purple to me.
That looks very purple.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So is that your first Melvin's record?
No, I have this. I saw this one because it's numbered, and it's the texture of the record's way different than the other one that I have, but it's
602.
yeah,
Right on.
number
Right on.
602. I The other version that I own of this was like the Third Man got the
Oh,
rights to it,
got the rights to it, yeah.
and then like I bought it and I was so excited, and I remember listening to it and being like, this sounds like absolute shit.
It
And
does.
so that's why I kept hitting you up and being like, hey man, do you have like an OG pressing of this record? Because like I need to know how that sounds before like I pull the trigger and buy one. But I saw this one. It was pricey, but not that pricey. 2,500 on purple and red marbled colored vinyl. Like I said, there was a lot of albums I passed on today, but I saw this one. I was like, I got to get that because like I do like that album a lot. Another thing that I bought that I never owned before on vinyl, Nirvana Incesticide.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a really cool fucking record. All from start to finish. I remember as a kid listening to this a lot. Aneurysm,
Dude.
Aneurysm.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ! The version on this is so fucking awesome. Everything. Molly's Lips, Being a Son or Son of a Gun, Turnaround, Stain. I love Stain. That's a really cool song. His guitar tone on that's great. Hairspray Queen, Aero Zeppelin. Tons of good jams on this one. Like Jeff, I also got a new copy of the See You Next Tuesday Meth collaboration. Um, I was confused about what copy I was buying. I guess I was listening to a lot of Cypress Hill at that time and just did not realize it. But I got this Pinwheel one. It's pretty cool looking. I thought I was getting the same copy that Jeff got, but I was wrong. And although our good friend Mr. James Watson was offering to make it right, I'm just not going to inconvenience him in any way. I made that mistake, but it's not a mistake. This is a cool looking record. I'm happy to have this in my collection. I wanted to show it off on our show like you were going to because I know James watches and he is a big fan of our stuff. And James, this is great. The idea of what you guys did with this other band was incredible. It's very unique. I'm very happy that this turned out as cool as it did. And I was very proud to buy a copy of something that you're on because you're a good friend and a good fan of the show. And Jeff and I, like you said, we support you in anything you do. And this was really cool. I appreciate you trying to make things right with my mistake, which again, like I'm happy with this. I really am. I'm going to live with it. But I'll probably buy that other copy from you at some point. But thank you very much for everything, James. You're a great dude, a good person, and I appreciate you trying to make my silly mistake right there. Even though like it's not a mistake. This is a great looking record. I'm happy to have it in my collection. Like I said. Moving on. Next thing I got Sometimes when I'm at work, I take little breaks and we'll go to Home Depot and there's a Target and a Walmart right next door, and I'll pop in to see what records they have in their selection. And I came across another one of my all-time favorite movie soundtracks, Pulp Fiction. I used to have a copy of this movie on DVD. There was like two discs. The second disc was like the soundtrack, and it went well with my surround sound system that I had in my old room. But I love this movie a lot. This is my second all-time favorite movie. Goodfellas has got to be my first. I have three all-time favorite movies, and I own them all on soundtrack. All their soundtracks on vinyl. This was the last one that I got. I also own that movie, The Thing. This was a Walmart one. Like Walmart's got Obi strips now, Jeff. I don't know if you've seen that lately. Target. I'm sorry, not Walmart. This is a clear yellow vinyl. If you have seen this movie, Pulp Fiction, which I hope you have, you should know the music that is on this soundtrack. It's a legendary movie. I think the Dick Dale and the was it's probably the most popular one. The Miserlua. How do you say it?
I don't know the name of
Mr.
the song, but I know what you're talking about.
Mr. Lou by Dick Dale and the Deltones. But that's the theme to this movie. If you've ever watched this movie, uh, but if you've never watched this movie, shame on you. God damn it, this is fucking awesome. This is an incredible fucking film. Happy to have that on vinyl. Another record that I found in Target that was I was like, you know what? I don't have this on colored vinyl. Uh, why not? Beastie Boys, License to Ill. It's on white vinyl. Bought it. Love this fucking album. What we got here? Brass Monkey. How could you go wrong with that? I love the song, the new style. It's just that beat at the fucking end is just so ill. Um, Beastie Boys.
Yes.
I'm young and hip, kids. Um, I fucking love this record. This is I've talked about this album a couple times on our show, but this is just a legendary hip hop album. Just I mean, for the time, this was 1986, and just the beats that they had, man, just Rick Rubin knew what he was fucking doing with this shit. Shout out to Beastie Boys. All right, a couple more to go. Holy shit! Our good shout out to our good friend Scott. Send you and me this link because he knows you and I are big fans of this band, and I fucking absolutely am. Blast Beats Vinyl put out 100 copies of this Lamb of God's New American Gospel, and there it is. What it looks like. It's clear with this little orange green blob in the middle. Only 100 of them. Blast Beats Vinyl, fucking awesome. So they sent me some cool stickers and shit. Uh, they've got a lot of cool stuff on their page. I've slept on them for a while because I just don't know how legit that site is, but it is very legit. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate the heads up on stuff like this because this is a cool album. It made my top 20 list, as did Jeff's. All right, I got this album maybe in the mail about 2 days before the Super Bowl, and I was so stoked that it came so quickly. The new Kendrick Lamar album, GNX. This is the website exclusive white vinyl. Um, man, we should talk about his performance at the Super Bowl and how fucking amazing that was. Like, I'm a huge Kendrick fan. I have every one of his albums on vinyl, of his full lengths, I should say, not none of the EPs or. But I'm a big Kendrick fan. I saw him live back in 2017. I was just jaw hit the ground with that performance. He was really, really good, really special, and just imagine you having beef with somebody, and then they go on TV, the Super Bowl halftime, nonetheless, and they sing their diss track about you, and they look in the camera and call you by name and call you a pedophile. Then they have your ex girlfriend out there crip dancing. I mean, there's just no more disrespect. Kendrick is the king. He is fucking awesome. This album is incredible. Uh, I don't know if you're a fan of him or not, Jeff, but he ever since To Pimp a Butterfly, I became a huge fan of this guy. He's a great artist, great hip hop artist, amazing lyricist, and just this record is great. This, the timing of when it arrived in the mail, and then a few days later the Super Bowl happened. I was really happy with all that. This is, I think he won a bunch of Grammys for this, or it might have been for that diss track. I can't remember. Final thing that I have, I know I got a lot of records. That's why I wanted to do this episode, so we don't have to like take 2 years to do this, but it seems that way. Final record. This would have been the first full length, I believe, by our friends of Entheos. It is called Infinite Nothing. This Ooh, man, I don't remember what year this came out. 2016, maybe 2017. This is a pretty cool looking record.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's red in the middle, or blob or whatever. I don't know what it should say on the label here. It doesn't. But yeah. Shout out to Entheos, Cheney, Naveen, my boy Evan Brewer. I hope you're still around and doing well, buddy. This band is incredible. Most people know Cheney. She was on Kai's stream a couple months ago, and just that's a pretty big deal for her because she deserves all that notoriety. She's a great vocalist, amazing human being. Always been super kind to me. I try to support Entheos any way I can whenever they put out music. This is an older album that just got released finally on vinyl for the first time. Happy to have it. Happy to support those guys and gal. Shout out to them. And then one last thing before we go. If you pre-order one of our shirts, you're gonna get one of these. How look at that fucking clean ass logo. Um, Jeff and I are doing some work here to get more of these made, different ones made, but I just wanted to share this on the show real quick because this is just fucking awesome looking. I sent a bunch to Jeff. I think he sends some out to the people that pre-ordered shirts as well. But yeah, we got to have some cool stuff coming here. Hopefully, you'll see our sticker plastered all around town, and just hopefully more cool things to come here on our show. Cool, some good guests and other shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just to recap a couple of things that you talked about. James, great guy. We're dating. Target now has Obi strips, which is preposterous, but cool little gimmick, I guess. I actually had to look up. I own that same copy of Pulp Fiction from Target. Just like you, I went into Target, saw it, and was like, yeah. That movie is Sierra's favorite movie, which is awesome. My daughter, it's her favorite movie. What else? There was something else that you talked about. I think that was it. But yeah.
Kendrick, David Lee Roth, Lamb of
Oh,
God.
Kendrick, yeah. Yesterday when I was getting my haircut, the girl that's been cutting my hair for the last few years she asked me what I thought about the Super Bowl, and I haven't watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard all about the performance, and I know all about what happened. When I came home from work that night, I came home and watched The Simpsons. I didn't watch the Super Bowl, didn't care. But apparently I've been told that I need to watch the Kendrick Lamar episode or the Super Bowl thing, halftime show, before I come back to get my hair cut again, or she won't cut my hair. So I have to watch it at some point. So. Yeah.
I guess if you understand what's going on and why it was such a big deal about what he did, but yeah, it was very neat. It was very neat. I think there was a lot of America that didn't understand it and didn't care for it, and that's fine. That happens every year. People always find some way to complain about who's performing. So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you all next week.
All right. See you guys.